every one of them would stand against the New World Order. What we will do, the Illuminati meeting will be down the hall, room 204. You have to be out by 11. Phyllis Pond is coming around and she's locking up all the rooms. I'm going to give each one of the gentlemen out 2 minutes for closing statements, and I'm going to start at this end of the table, move our way down alphabetically, and after that we're going to allow the gentlemen to go to their tables. They will be dismissed. That way you can have all your discussions with them out there. We start for 2-minute closings with Don Bates Jr.
Pat, thank you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been a tremendous honor for the past 13 months for me to travel this state and meet Hoosiers all across our great state who are as concerned as you are about what's happening to America. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe tonight that America stands at a crossroads, and if you believe that down one path is a European socialistic state and down another path is Reagan's shining city on a hill, if you believe that we cannot afford politics as usual in Washington, D.C., then I'm asking you to give me the opportunity to be your next United States Senator. I'm asking you to allow me to lock arms with good men like Mike Pence and lead the charge back to that shining city on a hill. Lead the charge to stop this president. Lead the charge to restore constitutional and fiscal sanity in Washington, D.C., and thereby help save the United States of America. I leave you with this Reagan quote. Ronald Reagan said, "Let us be sure that those who come after us will say of us in their time, that in our time, we did everything that could be done. We finished the race, we kept them free, and we kept the faith." God bless you. God bless America. I'm Don Bates Jr. I hope you'll vote for me on May the 4th.
Ladies and gentlemen, Don Bates Jr. With his closing comments, Richard Bain.
Thank you, Pat, and thank you, friends, for being here on this evening. It's been a pleasure to spend time with you. I ask that you have different additional questions, maybe not the New World Order thing, but those of you, please visit my table. I enjoy the eyeball time. That's my favorite time of all. It was great spending more time with you guys. I enjoy these men up here. I enjoy the friendship that's growing, as well as the other events of this race, and it's fun, man. I enjoy spending time with you guys. Yes, this is an important time. You have an important decision to make. I think I've made that clear on May 4th. And it's a time that we will determine whether or not we continue down the same path that we're on. Do we continue down this path of politicians and politics as usual? Or do we continue down another path when we get back to a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, and we insert we the people back in that government? That's what I'm here tonight to ask you to do. I'm here tonight to ask for your vote. And again, not just simply ask for your vote, but ask for a mandate. And I believe I made it clear that I'm asking for a mandate to send my voice to go reclaim our constitutional sovereignty, and to send my voice up the hill to reclaim our state's rights, and again to send my voice, my vigorous voice, to go reclaim our individual liberties. So on May 4th, I'm asking you to stand with me. Please stand with me and stand for freedom. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard Bain. With his closing comments, John Hostetter.
Thank you, Pat. And I want to thank the New Haven Republican Central Committee for this opportunity to share with you. And I want to especially thank all of you for coming out on this very beautiful evening to share with us your concerns that you have for our country and for your families. You know, when I first ran for Congress in 1994, I believed that I could restore trust in government, at least trust from one perspective of one elected official. In November of this year, you will have an opportunity to send one new senator from the state of Indiana to the United States Senate. That one senator will not be able to change the world overnight. But I ask you to trust what I say, that I tell you tonight is what I'm going to do in Washington, D.C. If you agree with the majority of what I said, one time I received a letter from a contributor who said, "John, I agree with you 83% of the time," which is more than I can say for my wife of 20 years. If you can agree with me, if you can come along with me, and if you believe that my record that I established in 12 years in the House of Representatives representing the Bloody 8th District is a record that you can agree with, reducing the size of the federal government while maintaining a strong national defense and defending traditional values of our families, cutting spending and cutting taxes, if that's a record that you can believe in, if that's a record that you want to represent you in Washington, D.C., I ask that you join me. I ask that you support me on May 4th in the Republican primary, and then work with me from the Republican primary on to November 2nd, general election, to send common sense Hoosier values back to Washington, D.C. Thank you, and God bless.
Ladies and gentlemen, John Cushman. Our final closing comments, Marlon Stutzman.
Well, first of all, thank you. It's so good to be here with you this evening, and I am very honored to be here in front of the group here this evening to share our thoughts and our ideas and to hear from you. As we've traveled the state and heard from folks all over the state, one thing that I continually see and hear from Hoosiers as we travel is that there is a lot of anger and a lot of fear, but there's also hope. And that there is a fabric that is woven through each one of us as Americans, that America is the greatest country in the world, and that we have to fight for that freedom. Each generation has a responsibility, and I believe that it is our turn to step up right now, as so many other generations did before, that are going to stand up and fight the attacks on our moral values and our Constitution and the principles and the free enterprise system that we have in this country. And I'm excited because people are stepping forward with a new vision and a new cause. The people that have never been involved in the political process before, from the Tea Party folks to young Republicans to larger groups that are coming out to talk about the issues that are in front of us today, the understanding that people have that we have to change Washington back to the American values and the system that our Constitution originally framed and expected from our federal government. I would ask for your support in this coming election on May the 4th. I believe that it is time for us as a Republican Party to lead with conservative values, to lead with vision, to lead in understanding that the power is with people, not with the government, and that we as individuals can make our decisions and fix the problems that are in front of us easier and better and more efficient than what our federal government can ever do. I think that it is so important that we imagine a senator who's going to live in Indiana, who's going to represent Indiana, going to come back to Indiana and listen and have the dialogue. That's why people don't trust Washington, D.C., because there's no dialogue. And that they believe they have the answers rather than listening to the people. And I believe it's important for us to elect someone who is a full-spectrum conservative, and I'm excited that the Republican Party has that opportunity. God bless you.
Let's show our appreciation to all of the gentlemen here this evening. I'm going to invite them to go on back to their tables while we do the housekeeping here very quickly. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I was moderately disappointed about one thing, and I just have to come out and say it, because I know that they've seen each other now about 12 or 15 times, and this is the 5th time I've seen them. My hope was they'd beat each other up tonight, and then I would be able, after they beat each other, I was going to announce my candidacy. But I just, so I'm not looking to get to the fight. So they're going on back. Our thanks to Craig Gallagher and his fine group for putting this together. And I must say to the other people and to the sound and light technician for the great work that he did and make sure that we could have the building here. Thanks for your support. Make sure you take time to stop, talk to the candidates. These gentlemen.